Ghosts. Hello and welcome to Paranormal Monday Night Live with myself and Jenny, Paul from Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghosts, Julia from Paranation Ghost Hunted Events, Abnormal Paranormal, and special tonight we have Mark and Michelle from Darkside Spirit Seekers. Darkside Spirit Seekers. Sorry, yep. Darkside Spirit Seekers. I'll get it right in a minute. It always happens. So welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. Welcome Michelle and Mark to it.
Good evening, guys.
Good to have you on. Ghost Dragon Investigations. Good evening to you and welcome. So if you have any messages, we'll be talking to Mark and Michelle in a bit. So hi Luke, good evening.
Hello.
You okay? So we'll be talking to them, and Julie had a small little investigation on Saturday with a few for 3 or 4 hours or whatever it is. So if we get time, we'll squeeze that in and see how they got on with that. So it's with a big warm welcome. Welcome to Darkside Spirit Seekers, Michelle and Mark. Welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So can you tell us a bit about yourself and your team, please?
Yes, we're a small knit group. We're from Scunthorpe in Lincolnshire, and we've been doing it. Well, me and Michelle have been doing it since about 2021, so we're relatively new to it all. But yeah, we do our own investigations, and we also do public events as well.
Is Michelle live, or is she a spirit? Does she not come on the screen? Is she not?
She's just losing her voice a little bit. That's all.
Oh, fine. So how many? So if we have any questions for Michelle or Mark, possibly Mark, because Michelle's losing her voice a bit. So send your questions in, and we'll put them to them, and they'll see them on the screen. So hopefully we'll get to see Michelle a bit later once the voice is recovered, so you can put a face to the name. Anyway, so if you have any comments or whatever you'd like to talk about tonight, please send them in to us, questions, and we'll look and ask Mark and Michelle. So, Darkside Spirit Seekers, where did you find that name, Mark?
It's hard because obviously you try to look for a name that obviously you can't use names that other people are using, and I thought, everyone uses words ghost or hunting and things like that, and I thought, well, we'll like to be called spirits, so we thought, spirit might be good. Then we're not hunting, we're seeking. So then we thought of seekers, and then we thought, okay, well that Spirit Seekers has already been taken. So there was something in with all the different words, and obviously then there's, I think, something going on with Star Wars, and obviously Welcome to the Dark Side. And I thought, we'll do that together, and then Bob Jungle, that's what it came up with, Darkside Spirit Seekers.
Nice.
So it's a little bit original, but
yeah. But you think
sometimes I sometimes I sort of like look at what I called it ours, and I think sometimes I would have liked to have, in hindsight, put the word ghost or spirit or something in there to sort of like say what it is, because just Paranation, people are like, oh, what's all that about then? But it's like Paranation, paranormal, nationwide. That's how I got Paranation. But I sometimes think, maybe I should have put some sort of ghosty thing in there.
But we even still get asked what it is we actually do. So, it's, I don't think it matters what you put, really. It's, everyone asks us, what are you actually doing? Well, does it not say in the title, but yeah, we hunt ghosts. But they're all right, okay.
See, to me, when you put ghost hunters, a hunter is someone that has a kill at the end, isn't it?
Yes,
I don't like
exactly.
to use that word hunter like we do the paranormal with spirit, like yourself, Spirit Seekers, which is a good way of describing it. Ghost hunter, to me, is someone that's, I don't really go with a hunter, to be honest, but, some people are like that. Ghost Dragon Investigations, what's your favourite type of communication, Mark?
Or mine?
Yeah.
God.
Like the Estes, don't you?
I do like the Estes method. I think that's fantastic. It aids good results, that does. But my best bit of kit or whatever that I like to use probably is the SLS. I absolutely love the SLS. It's a fantastic piece of kit. It's not as easy forward as the app is, but it's. But your best thing obviously is your voice, your senses. So call out spirits, make them feel at home, make them feel at ease. I found that's the best bit to use is your voice.
Yeah.
I usually get told to go away. You don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to Michelle, but there we go.
But you find that sometimes, don't you?
God,
they won't react to one voice, but they will to another.
Well, we did one investigation. I can't remember where it was. I've done so many now, and it said, "Is there any spirits here that like to communicate?" So it said yes. That came through on Necrophonics, the app that we use. And I said, "Okay, that's fantastic." It says, "Who would you like to speak to?" And they come back, "Not you." Thank you.
Well, at least they were honest.
So that wasn't me then. And he goes, "No, don't want to speak to you." I thought, "Thank you."
Oh, wow.
So,
funny.
It's funny.
Hi, Christine. Good evening. Welcome. Ghost Dragon Investigation. We just made an XLS camera. That's good. That's good. Making one of them. I mean, we do use the SLS, probably not as much as we should do, but we like to go. I don't know about yourselves, but we like to be sort of back to basics, like Judah's, with the dowsing rods and all of that type of stuff. I don't know what you think about dowsing rods.
Hi, Alan.
We think they're fantastic. We've got about 3 or 4 sets in our kit, different kind of dowsing rods. We love it. Like you say, it's best to go back to old school basics, like it used to be. Candles and things like that, rather than because they didn't have electronic equipment like we've got nowadays. So we just see them as toys, so to speak, expensive toys, but toys nonetheless. Almost the best.
SB7 Spirits box is one of my favourite from Ghost Dragon Investigations. I've used the Spirit box and we've had some good results, but I'm not overly convinced with it, to be honest, because it's scouring radio waves, isn't it?
It is. We've got the one up from that. We've got the SB11, and that's exactly pretty much the same. And it's just sometimes you think, maybe, maybe not. Like you said, it's scouring radio waves, so it's spend more time probably debunking it rather than investigating as we normally do.
So, what's the best place you've investigated?
Oh, what's the best one we've investigated? Oh my god! The one for me, especially for me, is we do up our end in a place called Sleaford. We've got an abandoned asylum called Rawseby.
Oh, wow.
And that was built in the early 1900s and closed in 1990 something. And it's abandoned. There's only a few buildings left now, but they're derelict. But the atmosphere, the activity we've got from there is phenomenal. It really is. We've had disembodied voices, screams, and it just chills you to the bone. It really does.
Really?
Yeah, and it's very active.
And would you say that's one of your scariest places you've been to?
I find it hard because I jump, as we all do, but to get scared, I've been watching horror films since I was 6 years old, and I was in the military for 6 years. I find that, except for my Mrs. Michelle, I don't find a lot scares me at all. So it's, but it does have those jump moments. We have bangs and we have had things thrown while we've been there as well. So it's a good investigation.
So Richard Smith, hi Richard, welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. Anybody got our questions for Mark or Michelle? Hi Alan.
Evening. Richard.
All right.
I've got a question.
Go for it.
Have you ever investigated any places down south?
We've done some down south, not with our team, or we've done public events, but we've hosted for other companies like other teams like Pat Souls and things like that. We've done hosting down there, and we've done Shepton Mallet Prison. We've done that one. That's notoriously fantastic. That really is that place. You know, I recommend it to anyone. What else have we done down south?
We've done Fort Widley.
Fort Widley.
That was really good.
That was a good old military fort. We're trying to get more down there. You know, I want to do the Ancient Ram. I really do.
Yeah.
Just to see if it's as notoriously haunted as the Saint is.
The boys can tell you about that. They've done that, and Julia, Angela. I think Luke, you've done that as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I'm the only one that hasn't done it.
The boys could tell you, or Julia could tell you about it. They spent an overnight there, didn't you?
We did 12 hours. It was my first time there. That was last June. One of those where it's been on my bucket list for a very long time, and we finally got around to doing it. I think it's great getting the venues, but you've got to, you know, especially if you organise the events, to try and sort of like judge how many people are going to be interested in going and how many people would travel the distance. So I think that's one of the obstacles I have to come over when people like say, oh, you know, this is a good venue, and you know, you sort of like go and get a price. You say, oh yeah, actually that is a good venue, but it's, would people travel that far? Like, you know, I know up north there's some fantastic venues, but it's, you know, getting the people up there. That's our problem.
I think it's all around. I think we have the same problem here. You know, we're like in the middle, so we've got up north, we've got south, and obviously then we've got Wales as well, and it's just a trek to get to all of them. You know, that's really great. And our customers don't want to travel.
Ghost Dragon Investigations, but North Fort, Shire Hall, Dorchester Prison are all good around here. Yeah, we're off to North Fort soon. Infinite Paranormal said, I love Widley, my spiritual home. We love Fort Widley.
It's a great place, very active.
Yeah.
I've done Shire Hall down in Dorchester as well. I'm currently inquiring about Dorchester Prison. North Fort we're doing at the end of March.
Yeah.
If anyone, that's my first time there as well. If anyone wants to come and join us.
And Alan's put plenty up here in the North Wales. Have you done the Galleries of Justice, Mark?
Oh, I've seen so many people do that, and that's another one that's on our bucket list. And we are going to try to reach out to them to get an investigation on Galleries of Justice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it does look really good.
Also, is there a bus museum up there, isn't there? Is that up your way?
I think there was a trolley bus
transport museum, is it?
Yeah, there is. There's quite a few museums up here. We've also got the Emergency Services Museum in Sheffield.
Yeah.
You know, and most wanted have been there, unfortunately. But you know, it's
Ooh.
it's got to be real. Of course it has. You know,
always happens to them, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, everything's there. I mean, nowadays everything's like poltergeist or demonic. Nowadays, you know, it's all going the same way. It's the TV programs are making it so hard for us guys, you know, legitimate investigators, and they're making it so difficult for us. Because when we get customers coming to the events, you know, we always ask, what are your expectations? And I say, well, we want to see this. On this program, we saw this. I says, but, you know, don't expect that. Go with an open mind, and hopefully we'll get something at the end of the night.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Alan's done Widley over 200 times. Over 200 times, Alan, are you sure? Wow.
You must be a part share owner in it.
Amazing.
Probably own the moat now for 200 times.
He didn't tell us he had the building for himself.
No, he didn't. No.
It's but there's quite a few. There is a few around here, and there's a few up north I'd love to do as well. So it's
Graham Bentley. Hi, Graham. Good evening. My sister lives in Boston, and they mentioned an abbey called Ravensbury Abbey, and I think it's called. One day I'm going to go there to try that place, supposedly to be really active. Have you been there?
Somebody asked us.
We haven't been. We had a couple of our customers asked about Reamsby Abbey, and it is notoriously haunted.
We're going to look into
We're going to look into it and send them an email, drop them an email tomorrow, hopefully all being well, to see if they're interested in us doing one there.
at higher costs.
It's and higher costs and things like that. A
Yeah,
lot to get back to you, or they say it's oh, we don't want that kind of thing for our business, and you look at it, well, are we being stigmatized or something here? You know, it's we don't want your kind here. You know, we get a lot of those answers.
Yeah.
Or sometimes no answers at all. Sometimes they don't even bother to reply to your email.
No, not that.
You know, and it's so frustrating.
It is.
You know,
So
I even.
Sorry, mate. Go.
No, I even tried advertising because we want to do a charity event. You know, hopefully in the summer for a cause close to my heart, either help for heroes or combat stress, and I'm trying to get like hosts involved. You know, like special guests to come across. We approached Barry Guy from Help My House Is Haunted. Told him it's a charity event and everything else like that. Would he come along as a guest speaker for an hour or so of his time? And he wanted between £600 and £800 just to attend. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, it's for charity. You know, I don't expect everything for nothing, but you know, help it out a little bit. It gets you noticed more as well, and it's just no, he wasn't interested.
You've always got to ask the South of England Paranormal Group. I know we've not got the status he has, but never mind. We're more fun.
I asked him because we investigated with him last year. No, not last year. Year before, 2023. We did the Shepton Mallet. That's the first time we ever did it, and it's fantastic. It's nothing like he's on TV. You know, he's very great. Oh, he's still a coward. He still runs away, but it's and we got a great rapport with him. So I thought I reached out to him first.
Yeah,
and that's his prices. So
that's madness, isn't it? That sort of price. But then, you know, that's who he is, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I think they're all for the money. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. I know him as well.
It's
Harry Guy. He's a nice enough guy. But I think, unfortunately, they charge a lot, don't they? You know.
Yeah. I mean, the other guy we spoke to him at great length is Richard Felix from Most Haunted.
The
awesome
historian.
Guy. He's probably in hospital, from hospital, isn't he? But
yeah, that's right. I've met him. I worked behind the scenes on Most Haunted.
Oh wow!
On the VIP, they have the VIPs behind the scenes, and I worked with him at the London Dungeons with Most Haunted behind the scenes. Really, really nice guy. And then I met him at Parameet. You know the Parameet in Leicester?
Yeah.
I met him again there and bought his book there. He wrote a book about his experiences into the because he owns. Doesn't he own Derby Goal or something? Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go there later on this year for hopefully a public event. You know, and hopefully he's going to be there and he's going to have a 2-hour talk or whatever beforehand and do a meet and greet. So
that's pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he's fantastic. I love talking to him because he's a historian and I love my history, as we all do as paranormal investigators.
Yeah,
and, you know, just listening to him talk, it's awesome.
Ghost Dragon investigations, but a lot of mediums and ghost experts have over commercialized themselves, and it's the money. It's the money.
Yeah.
It's the exposure they have, isn't it, to the public that demands that sort of money. You know.
It goes to the head.
Yeah. That's such a shame, though. But for a charity event, it's you'd think they'd give a little bit of leeway, wouldn't you? You know, if it's only an hour, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I even asked if they would, just for charity, produce, send us some autographed pictures or something like, just so we can, auction them off. But, I think charities like going to be combat stress, so it's a big charity. But no, won't do that at all.
So weird, isn't it?
We'll go somewhere else. You know, someone else will entertain us at the end of the day.
Cool. But if you get stuck, you know where we are.
Yeah,
we'll always come up and do it for charity.
Fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah,
we would do that, mate. From the Monday night team, we would come up there and do that for charity and without a problem.
Well, thank you very much. And we'll bear that in mind then. And when we get one, sorted out and a venue sorted out, we'll drop you a line and let you know.
Sure.
If you're free.
Sure. Yeah, get hold of myself or Angela or any one of us on here, and we'll always answer back as soon as we can. And if we can and the dates are good, we will certainly do that for you for a charity. I mean, we're just, obviously paranormal investigators in the south of England, but we're quite willing to do that for charity without a doubt. A good charity as well.
As well, aren't we? At the end of the day, but there's such a great
passion,
divide,
isn't it?
Yeah, there's a great divide between us, though. And there's a lot of backstabbing I've noticed in the para community now. It's jealousy, things like that, and it's toxic.
Yeah. Ghost Dragon Investigation, but we're doing a charity event in May and got some fantastic mediums coming down to help out, and she's amazing. Ghost Dragon Investigations, tell us where it is and we can put it out on here for you. We can advertise it for you. That's not a problem. We'll gladly help. So ping us where it is and your dates and we'll put it out on here. We do have a lot of people watch this. Some people, we get a lot of views on catch up. So, people will see it. So if you want us to do that for you, you're more than welcome. Just ping us the information. Same as Mark and Michelle. Ping us the information when you've got it sorted. And we'll certainly put it out on here down in the south. So, we'll push it from here, which we'll always do for charity. We don't have an issue. Like I say, if we're available, we'll come up and help out or whatever you want us to do. Just let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We will, yeah.
You got your free Facebook pages. Two different pages. What's that about? Tell us a bit about them.
Well, I mean, Michelle's got her own page. That was hers. It's always been hers. Yeah, before I came on the scene. Mine, I should only have one, but there is two because my old one, it had all my urban exploring, photos and pictures and that on. I've done about 10 years of urban exploring, and I wanted to shut that page down because I couldn't do a lot with it and transfer it all over onto my new Darkside page, which I'm using now, and I can combine that now with the paranormal, and because I think they're both combined. You have to explore, and we find a lot of them, exploring the abandoned buildings. They have that effect to them. They have the creepiness factor, and they've got years of history as well. So we love it. So we'll have 2 pages very soon.
Mine's all paranormal.
Michelle's is all paranormal.
Okay.
So it's
any questions? Anybody here?
How did you get started in the paranormal? What interested you?
Well, it was about, for me personally, it was about, I'd say about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And at that point, I was an urban explorer. I didn't believe a lot in the paranormal. I thought, it's hocus pocus, whatever, and mumbo jumbo because I've watched the TV programs. And I was exploring an abandoned manor house in Gainsborough, Lincolnshire, where I used to live. And there was only me and my friend there. And we heard banging and clattering downstairs. And we thought, maybe it's other explorers, or could be the police, or something like that. So we thought we'll go down and have a look, see who it is. Nobody there, nothing. It's absolutely quiet. There's a mouse down there. But then, obviously, we went back upstairs. And when we came downstairs, on the bottom spindle of this staircase was a little bottle. And in front of that bottle was a black and white picture that we found out was the grandma of the MP that used to own the house. And we didn't put it there. I didn't see it before we went up the stairs because I'm nosy, so I'd have seen it because it was right in your face. And I thought, okay, wow, fair enough. And then we were taking some pictures, and we were following this mist go up the stairs. I thought, okay, that's weird. I've not seen that before. It's not our breath, because I was holding my breath, I was taking pictures. And then the bit that blew it for me was looking back at my pictures of the house and the manor house and everything. In a fireplace, there is an apparition of a little girl and a little terrier dog in that fireplace. I've tried to debunk it so many times. It's not brickwork. It's not pareidolia. I've had people look at it. I've had designers look at these things, and I would never doctor my pictures, and no one can
No.
debunk it. And it just blew me away. And I've been into it ever since.
Wow.
So would you say that was your first view of an apparition?
Possibly might have been my second one, because the first one I was under a lot of mental health, and I was walking my dogs one night down the riverside, and as when I was a soldier, I lost my best friend in combat. He was shot and killed, and I was walking down near the embankment, and there's this figure coming towards me, head down. I just could see the outline, but as I walked past, I heard in his voice, the voice of my best friend, saying, "How you doing, soldier?" And I turned round, and he'd gone. But I was under a lot of mental health issues at that point, so I just put it down to maybe I was imagining it, or my brain was going over, overthinking. But that was probably my first ever apparition I'd seen.
Well, Ghost Dragon Investigations. What's the best bit of evidence you have gotten or witnessed that you can only be explained as paranormal? Great question.
It's probably the one that me and Michelle have got together is again at Shepton Mallet Prison, and was only exploring it. We'd gone at the end of the day as we was going home, and it was about half an hour before closing time, so we had the whole of Sea Wing to ourselves. It was quiet. So Michelle said, "Right, I'm just going to do some recording on my phone," and so I said, "Right, I'll go off down in the bottom there, go explore and have a look around, so I could be quiet."
Yeah.
And she went into the first cell, and she did all the cells in sequence, but we didn't. When we got home and we was reviewing the footage, when she went in that first cell, she actually caught a clear voice of someone saying hello as soon as she went in.
Wow.
And it was clear as day, someone was talking to her. And then she went in the last cell, and then someone went like it was interrupting them or whatever they was doing.
Then on another occasion, it's called my voice.
Yes,
My name, sorry.
and then on the what we did previously, it obviously recognised us for being there, so we've done it 3 times after that. It said Michelle.
Huh.
Wow.
They do remember. They do remember.
They do.
Yeah.
And
I'll have some call them.
we've got other things as well, but that stands out more because obviously it's more recent, so it stands out more to
Sure.
us.
And I've got some on
It's phenomenal.
picture as well.
And she's got a full apparition on picture, which is what she caught before I was with her, and yeah, it blows us away. We'll send you the picture.
Yeah,
See what you
do. We could put it up on here. Ghost Dragon Investigation said Cell 7 in Wing C. Myself and Jenny had experience in Cell 7 on Wing C. We were sitting outside the cell, and it was going the Alice box, because I have an Alice box, and it was going 7, 7, 7, 7. I'm thinking, what's wrong with this? Why does it keep going 7? And then we looked round and thought, oh, Cell 7. So Jen said, oh, you go and sit in there and see what happens while she sits outside on the stairs. So I went in there, and it not much happened, a bit of a creak, but nothing I would say was worrying. So we came out, and the Alice box went, Reginald. We're like, Reginald? What's he on about, Reginald? And then as we looked around, we sort of shone the torch, and there was a picture on the wall, because that's where the Krays were in Cell 7.
Yes,
So, the Alice box was like spot on there. And then we sort of turned around, and it came out with, and it's never done this before, it said, stairs, I was pushed down, killed. And we're like, well, that's very strange. So we wrote it down, and we'd had a few bits and bangs, like someone was walking above us. So we went back to get a cup of tea, and I spoke to the tour guide. I said, oh, about this stair someone pushed down. She said, how do you know about that? So I said, oh, well, it came up on this box. She said, there was a prisoner above the Krays when they were there. It was causing them a bit of an issue. So they put a thing out on him, and the guy was killed, pushed down the stairs, and she said he bounced downstairs and broke his neck and died. She said, I can't believe you found that out. And that was through the Alice box, really. So we were quite stunned there. And Julia's had an experience, haven't you, Julia, in D-Wing?
I have. I have. You might have to jog my memory for that one.
Wasn't that the one where you went in and you heard the voices and come back out again? When you said you were going to investigate on your own.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You wandered in there on your own.
4 or 5 in the morning, and everyone was like just getting a bit tired. So I thought, it's still sort of quite dark. So I stepped in, probably about 2 foot in, and I was just like, had my phone just panning round. I was just going, hello, is anybody there? Hello. And then I heard dotted about 2 or 3 other people say hello, and I know there was no one else in there. So, but I think I got that on film as well. But I was like, I can't, because my idea was that I was going to walk up and down the wing, and try and just be brave. But no, I lost my boss, so I couldn't do it. It was, but that's a good thing because it shows how creepy that place is. When when there's a few of you, when you're walking up and down the wings in like groups of 5 or 6 or whatever, it's fine. But you try doing that on your own when there's no one else there. That's creepy. Yeah.
It's like taking one for the team, isn't it, Julia?
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, I made it halfway down the wing and headed back. Richard Smith put, Mark, what about Bert?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, Richard's put Bert on there. Oh, my God. It's our first public investigation was at the Ship Inn in Chapel St Leonard's near Skegness. And there was only a group of 10 there, pretty low, but it was January at the end of the day, so it's we expect that. And we did the S-Test method. And we did it with 5 different guests, different ones that wanted to try it out and everything. And everyone came across with the name Bert. So we thought, well, that's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. There's something significant about that. And we had Bert follow us around all night long. He wasn't very nice. He doesn't like the ladies. And him and Michelle, when we was having a little bit of a break, on the landlord's request, they went into the gents' toilets. She said, dodgy things happen in the gents' toilets. Yeah, as they do. And she said she doesn't like to go in there. Anywhere else but there, she doesn't like it. So they went in there with Richard's SLS, and they actually caught the stick figure of someone bent over the toilet, looked like they were being sick. I kid you not. It was absolutely phenomenal. And it was that jerky movement, and that's exactly how we portray it. So we tied that to Bert, and he corroborated the fact that that was Bert, and he opened and closed the female toilet door. That opened up and closed on its own, and but since then we seem to think he's taken an attachment to one of Richard's dolls or one of Richard's teddy bears. And everywhere we go now with that teddy bear, you can guarantee Bert will come through. So I said, that's fine, you can keep Bert because he's not a very nice guy. You can have him. He is a character.
How funny.
But we did find out through, because it was covered by a local radio, and a historian got in contact saying there was an Albert there who's been there for 150 years in spirit form.
Oh, wow.
So it's sort of like you put 2 and 2 together, and I'll let everyone else come up with their own conclusions. But
yeah,
he is a
that's
interesting.
interesting.
Funny. He's attention seeking. It's lovely.
You like them sort of spirits, don't you? Because they always never let you down on a ghost hunt, do they?
Oh no,
they're always there.
We say now, is there any spirits there that want to talk to us? And as soon as Necrophonic's on it, it'll go Bert. I thought, oh no, not Bert again. No, please.
You always say that, don't you? Anybody in the venue that wants to talk to us, and you always get the one come through that you think, not you again. But you've got to laugh when you bless them. They do like putting in an appearance.
Oh, yeah, dear.
We do have a laugh. We do laugh when we're there sometimes. It adds to the energy, doesn't it? Really, once you get a good atmosphere.
It kills them as well.
What's your taking on spirit boards? Do you use spirit boards on your venues?
We do use spirit boards, and I've been using them myself for many years. We know how to open them, we know how to close them, and everything else like that. We know, most people think they're just a toy, but they're not a toy. at the end of the day. You know, we can contact
That's probably one.
the other side with them, but it doesn't happen like we say, like it's in the movies, and the planchette don't go 150 miles an hour, or the table starts flying, and we find it probably 1-2 times we've had activity on it, but it's not very much. Little movements here and there, but we don't get a lot of activity with them, unfortunately.
No. Do you do table tipping? You got a haunted
We do table tipping. That has more effects than obviously the spirit board. We get more of activity on the table tipping and everything, and glass work.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Ouija board, not so much.
No, we like table tipping. Do you ever have you ever tried the human pendulum?
Yeah, we did that last night.
How'd you get on with that? How'd you rate that?
Oh, I love it. I don't think it's up there with the Estes, but we do like it. It's in the middle of the range. It produces a lot of results. And not only did I have a person in the middle rocking backwards and forwards, but a couple of people in the circle were also rocking side to side. You know, so it was affecting them. They was having their legs pulled, possibly by a child spirit. You know, and it was phenomenal. You know, I love it. I love watching it. The customers' faces, like, oh my god, you know, and it's so funny. They think they're going to fall over. It's so funny. The look of horror on their faces. You know, it's.
But the thing is, it's a visual thing, isn't it? They can see it.
Yeah.
You know, that makes a difference as well, doesn't it?
We had one. It was ridiculous. We had one at one event, and we said obviously show us your yes position, either rock forward or backwards for the yes answer, and it obviously rocked forward. So we thought, oh, fine, fantastic. It was a prominent yes. We go forward. Then we said, oh, can you show us your no answer? So again, the person went forward. I thought, oh, this is going to be one of those nights, I tell you. You know, it kept going like that. Everything was forward, nothing was backwards. So it's, but it's funny. But it's a good method. It really is.
We've had people going round in a circle as well when we've done it. Some people go like forwards or backwards, but sometimes people just like go in like a circle. That's quite odd as well.
You've had that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but occasionally they'll like do a circle, which is a little bit odd.
That's not really very helpful. They would do a backwards and forwards motion. We get to know it's round and round. What's that? Was it anti-clockwise one and clockwise the other?
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit strange, but you know, you can't say what's going to happen, can you? It's just
no, you can't.
Go with the flow.
You can't script it, can you? It's it's so funny. It really is. It's enjoyable.
Ghost Dragon Investigations, but have you tried glass work with a pen on a glass and a paper underneath? We normally use a planchette.
Because we tried all sorts of methods. You know, we put a cat ball inside the glass, on the inside of the glass. You know, we've tried paper, we've tried all sorts. It does produce results. It really does, whichever method you use. But I do like the cat ball inside the glass, because sometimes we've had the glass move, cat ball not go off, then we've had the cat ball go off and the glass not move. It's fantastic. We love it.
So with this one, Ghost Dragon Investigations, so you've basically got a piece of paper with the glass, and do you have the pen on top of the glass? I'm just trying to figure out how that one's going to work.
I know.
Have you tried glass? I've lost it now.
It says the ghost can then write with the pen, then the pen on the glass, and it makes sense. We've never tried that one before.
No, not tried that one.
That's an idea. No, never tried that one. Sometimes we get the if we got a lot of glass moving, sometimes we'll say, can you write the first letter of your name using the glass? And they'll sort of like do like an R or something like that, moving the glass. You know, because some things, every night's different, and some things are stronger than others. So some nights you'll get a lot of glass activity, other nights you get a lot of EMF, cat ball, that sort of thing. But if we're getting a lot of glass and they don't want to do the board or anything like that, because at the end of the day they are only people and they might think, oh no, I'm not going to go near a Ouija board, so if they're moving the glass, we say, can you do the first letter of your name with the glass and then the second letter of your name, and if they're happy to do that moving the glass, and we just stick with that. So but you can't say how it's going to go, can you? It's all very, very different.
You have to learn to adapt, don't you?
Strap it to the side. Oh, I get you now. I get you. Strap the pen to the side of the glass. That's a very good idea. I like that. I like that. I do like that idea. I'm going to give that a go. And we've got an event in a couple of weeks, so I've got some sellotape. I might sellotape to the side of the glass and see if we can get anything like that. We've got like a piece of wood with a pen in it, like a writing planchette, and we tend to use that to like draw and write. But that's a very good idea. We might go and do that. Give that a go.
Gemma's put someone's just whistled.
You're right.
There's a little bit of feedback somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah, I can hear it. Mark, tell us a bit about your investigation last night. How you got on?
It's obviously after the incident we had in room 8, it's that was a bit of a shocker for I don't know who.
Do you want to just tell everybody about that? Tell everybody about that because we were off the air when you did it.
Yes, it's so we're in the Vine Hotel near Skegness, and we actually spoke to the owner that owns it. He was actually there, and I said, "Do we have access to like the haunted rooms or the so-called haunted rooms?" And he says, "Yes, you've got access to room 8, where it's been reported that a bed has levitated off the floor." I thought, oh, well, that piqued my interest. I thought, well, have a look at this. It's so Michelle and Richard went upstairs in break time just to have a lay of the land, see what's going off, see if we can get customers up there and there's enough room and that. And then went up with the SLS camera and other bits of equipment. And so they crept into the room, as you do, and they put the light on. Oh, and lo and behold, there were 4 people asleep in the beds. It's, I don't know who was more shocked. I mean, I never saw it. I was gutted. So she turned the light out. So let's go back to the house. And then Richard set off our loud laser grid device. And obviously that was beeping like crazy. So he couldn't turn that off. You can't script it. You really can't. But thankfully they never woke up. So it's they shut the door and then they left. So the owner said, "Oh, sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen."
No, even the owner didn't know there was people in there. You sure they were living?
Documented who's in what room, like.
You sure they're not spirits?
Oh, God. So I said to Michelle, "They are alive, aren't they? They're not dead, are they? Can we communicate with them? It's so obviously there's alcohol in spaces, but
so
the more."
How did the rest of the night go?
The rest of the night, it was a flying success. We didn't have a lot of activity, but we got relevant activity because it's got linked to smugglers. So we had smugglers come through on the spirit box. We had snitch, policemen, all that came through. And because it's got links to Lord Tennyson, the poet. He used to do his poetry there. He was out there quite a lot, but we couldn't tap into his energy last night at all. But what we learned on Tuesday, somebody actually died in the hotel room. He was a former soldier who was struggling, and he'd lost his house, lost his wife through drinking and all that, and bad PTSD. And so he was paid to stay in the hotel for a while, and he was a guest. But he drank himself that much, and he'd also got cancer. We think he had an embolism or something like that. Because they said that they found him 2 days later dead. There was blood absolutely everywhere, like a murder scene.
Bloody hell.
And we thought, okay, we were due to stay at the hotel. They said, "Oh, do you want that room?" I said, "Well, I'd like a haunted room, not necessarily the same bed that he died in. No, thank you very much." But
Put us in that room.
But they did put us in that room, unfortunately. But we had a sound night, quite honestly. It was quite peaceful. But we investigated in the room next door, which was room 23, which was Lord Tennyson's room. But we didn't get in. But we tapped into the spirit of the person that died in the room next door, which we were shocked. We thought, well, we didn't think there was anybody there at that, And it's It come through necrophonics, soldier, death, lots of blood, you know, and cancer and everything like that. And then obviously it kept saying my name 4 times, and obviously it said Mark, help Mark. You know, obviously I tried to communicate. We didn't find out what he wanted help with, if he wanted to pass on or whatever. It wasn't forthcoming, you know, and then we ran out of time. And, you know, it's that.
You think he's still traumatised by his death, though?
Yeah, it traumatised me being a former soldier, and I couldn't help him, so I felt useless. And we had through the night loads of names come through. And what were the names? What's the name?
Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel came through. He came through a couple of times, and we thought, okay. So we put it to the lady that runs the hotel, and she said, "Oh, Nigel was his name."
Oh, wow!
So we found out, and we didn't know that until this morning. You know, that was that could be even more.
Yeah.
You know, it was. It definitely wants another investigation, and hopefully try and find out what he wants help with.
Yeah.
He's obviously a limbo or something. He was doing through troubled times. It was awful.
Yeah, quite sad, really, isn't it? And that demise like that, it's quite traumatic, really, isn't it?
They shouldn't. You know, a soldier or anybody shouldn't go through life like that. But we're used to it. The government are not there to help us, and it's just a shame.
Yeah. Then tell us a bit about your up and coming events, so everybody in that area can see.
The next stop is a 14th century building in Lincoln, historic Lincoln, and it's called the Wigan Mitre, which is pretty much next door to Lincoln Castle. It's never been investigated before. You know, it's been open since 1977. The owners called us in for like, you know, if we could go and investigate there, you know, as a team, not as a public event, because they had a lot of things going on. Glasses have been smashing, tables have been moved, all activity. So we thought, well, we'll go along, we'll have a meeting, as we always do, speak to them, see if we can do an investigation, a public investigation, whatever. And we got quite a lot of activity there, which is because me and Michelle went. So we thought we're booking a public event, which is on Sunday. That's our next event. You know, the tickets. Yeah, so that's our next upcoming event. We've got a few more. We've got a public house investigation coming up as well. So we find now especially since we had the radio interview, you know, a lot more people are coming forward asking for our help, which we're honoured to do. You know, but you know, and it's we love it. It's an investigation, so we enjoy it like you guys do. And but yeah, it's phenomenal. We're hoping to try and get some more bigger events, you know, but we do the smaller ones for now and then progress that way.
One of our investigators, Gemma, has put hi everyone, and hi to Mark and Michelle. Mark, sounds like you have some eventful nights. Do you do monthly events or just weekends?
We're doing monthly ones at the minute.
We do whatever. I mean, fortunately, Michelle is ill health retired, so I care for her. So we don't have any job commitments, and all our children are grown up, so we can commit completely to the paranormal, and we can have events at any time. You know, weekdays, weekends, monthly, but we do all sorts. You know, we'll do anything.
Calendar's getting really busy.
Calendar's getting a bit busy now. March is free, but it's other than that, it's filling up quite nicely. So we love it.
Do you get a lot of private investigations helping people?
We do. You know, I think we've already done 3 private house investigations, which, as we always say, they're completely different to our kind of investigations. We can't, let them say, like push the spirits as much as we would do. So we've got the team to be able to deal with things. Whereas a house, we can leave at the end of the day. They have to be left there safe, secure, and feeling safe and secure. So so it's a different kind of investigation. We try and explain that to everybody. It's completely different. You know, it's not like Help My House is Haunted. You know, it's nothing like that. You know, but it's real. These people, you know, whether it's paranormal or otherwise, these people are sometimes terrified. You know, but so we try and go there, find out what it is. It could be the house making noises. It could be paranormal, and we try and put their mind at rest. and do whatever we can to give them a happy life. And it's our passion at the end of the day, like you guys.
It is, yeah. We're very passionate about what we do. Ghost Dragon Investigations. Do you find eventful paranormal nights take a lot of energy out of you?
Yes, we do. You know, sometimes, I mean, they were absolutely shattered. You know, it's we do find it. You know, dealing with the public is tiring enough as it is. But, you know, they're very demanding. But we find when you get a lot of spiritual activity, because they're using our energy at the end of the day, so to come forward and do what they do. So we find it draining. But on a public event, especially when we get a lot of activity, we're drained for a couple of days afterwards. It's a bit like coming off when you're on a bender or a night out or something. It's you take a couple of days and to come around, and that.
You always get that paranormal headache, don't you?
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, that was a hard night.
I call it the paranormal hangover, personally.
Yeah. That's what it is, isn't it, really? It's like a hangover, isn't it? You're like, oh, dear, oh, Lord. Ghost Dragon Investigations, wake up like a truck's hit you, lol. Yeah.
Oh, God,
you do.
It's
just,
you feel like
it's so surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But we do it because we love it.
Yeah. It's because it's a passion, isn't it?
Definitely.
You know,
the passion. It's
we're
not
all
a job.
very passionate. No.
Because we're all trying to prove the same thing at the end of the day, you know, is the life after death? You know, we're never going to know 100%. We never will. But we want that drive to question everything, to witness everything and see what we can get from the end of it.
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Is there life after death? Yeah. You know, and some of the things we see and hear and do and you could debunk 80% of what you find, but that 20% you think, you know, and been in the paranormal world for 20 odd years, like I have, you know, some of the things you hear, and we've heard them together, myself, Julia, Angela, all of us on here, and seen things, and you think it's got to be, but whether you'll be 100% sure, we don't know till we go, do we?
No, it's not first in the field, no manual or anything like that. It's just a lot of it's pure guesswork. You know, it's it's.
Tell us a bit about your team, Mark. What strengths does your team? Do you have psychics on your team or mediums or?
We have good old Alan Ellis. He's been on the chat tonight. Obviously, it's probably still on the chat. He's our demonologist. You know, he's an ordained exorcist. He's been doing it for 40 odd years. He's Welsh, but I don't hold that against him. But you know, he'll kill me for that.
That's harsh, man. That's harsh.
Military as well, so he'll definitely want to kill me for that. But good old Al. It's obviously Michelle. She's more sensitive.
Okay.
She'll pick up names, the odd maybe apparition or whatever feelings. She's very, you know, it's medium. I've had a bad experience with a medium on the team. You know, this so-called person I will not name, obviously, but she was all me. Look what I can do. I'm this good. I'm great. You can't do anything without me. And it just, you know, it put me against them, so to speak. I know there's genuine mediums out there. I get that. I have respect for them all. But it just, I said that I don't want another medium on board now. I know they're not all the same, but you know,
some of it's about ego, isn't it?
Oh, she had a massive ego. You know, and so when I let her go, she said, "Oh, you'll never do never do well in the paranormal business. It'll fail." You know, and I shall make sure of it. And I thought, well, you can't speak to people like it's not nice.
No,
charming.
Yes. But the problem is as well. Again, she was former military. She was she was a medic. You know, and an army officer. And all she kept saying was, "You need to give me more respect because I was an officer." I said, "Well, you're not anymore. You're a civilian like I am. You know, we're all there for the same reason. It's our team at the end of the day. It's our names on the chopping block if things go wrong. You know, we'll listen to people's opinions and take things on board. But at the end of the day, you know, if you don't like what we do, then don't come around with us. But we can't have. It's a team. There's no I in team, as we always say.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
No, she was just all for herself.
Do you find that you're more susceptible to the paranormal having been in the military?
I do. You know, and it is, you know, I never thought of it until, like, you know, since I've been doing it. But the military, you know, you have that training that we can sense more because you're more alert of your surroundings. You know, you're slow, you're methodical, you know, in your movements and everything else like that. Yes, you can go in like a bull in a china shop. You know, I'm former infantry, so we kick indoors. But, you know, but I've learned, especially with the paranormal, because I remember the very first time doing the paranormal and getting into it, the first time I saw a proper shadow figure, and it appeared around this wall in a school, an abandoned school, and I went actually charging down the hallway after this spirit, you know, like hell possessed. You know, I've never seen it like that before, and I've learned now, obviously, take it a bit more calmer. But yes, being a military guy, it's put me more in tune to it, and being with Michelle as well, who's very sensitive to it all.
Yeah,
I find myself a lot more in tune with it. I see a lot more than what I used to do.
right.
And it's fantastic. I love it. It blows me away.
But I did a paranormal event at Aldershot Military Barracks in an officers' mess. Yeah. I went there one night and I was on my motorbike, so I had a balaclava and a helmet and all of that on, which they didn't take very kindly to. They weren't very happy with me pulling up to their gate with all this gear on. He came out with his rifle and said, "Can I just say, take your helmet off and your balaclava, but don't come anywhere towards us, because obviously, you know, you do look suspicious." Yes. Anyway, after we got over that sort of hurdle and he sort of dropped the gun a little bit, I said to him, he said, "Oh, where are you going?" So I said, "Oh, the paranormal night down in the officers' mess down in Aldershot." And he said, "Oh, right, okay." He said, "You're looking for ghosts?" So I said, "Yeah." And he was a Gurkha. There were two Gurkhas. Okay. So I said to him, yeah. And he said, "You know what? I'll tell you something. We've seen things in there that blows us away." He said, "But I'll tell you one thing the Gurkhas have. We'll fight anything we can see. We won't fight anything we can't see." And he said, "And you will see things in there that will blow your mind." And we did. It was a great night. But coming out, and he said, "How'd you get on?" So I said, "Do you actually patrol down there and go in the building?" He said, "We patrol down there. We go round the building. We do not go in it." I thought, well, that's brave.
You can't imagine them being scared of anything, can you, really? Because they're the elite. You know, they'll you know, but
such a lovely guy. Such really funny guy. But once we got past the initial balaclava moment, we were all right.
Yeah. I can imagine how that went down. You know, being a soldier, I can imagine.
Didn't go down very well.
No. You know, we see a lot of terrorists that are dressed like that, you see, so it's nature for us to point and shoot maybe first, and then ask questions afterwards.
Yeah, it was quite funny. I'm thinking, I've done something completely wrong here. I've approached the gate, balaclava, got a crash helmet, it's dark. This is not going well, this.
No, you're lucky you didn't have a bullet hole in you somewhere, you know, it's...
Well, yeah,
you can
could have been.
Spirits then, I suppose. You can talk to the spirits better.
Well, I could have talked to you from the other side, couldn't I?
Exactly.
Had a paranormal Monday night live from heaven.
Yeah. Oh dear me.
Anyway, any other? So, questions? Anybody got questions here on the panel for Mark or Michelle? That's a no. Look.
No.
I did one off on it. Oh yeah. What's your thoughts on UFOs and aliens and other life out there?
It's not something I follow on a whole, but obviously it's part of the paranormal. You know, as everything is. There has to be something out there. There's got to be. There's so many galaxies, planets, solar systems, whatever. You know, I'll use the term loosely, but we can't be the only intelligent life form in the world. You know, we're not intelligent, a lot of us, but you know, it's there's got to be something somewhere. There has to be. You know,
you go on your investigations. Do you ever stand and watch the night sky outside of a haunted location?
We do, yes, many times, yes. You know,
what do you see? What's your take on it?
It's fascinating. You know, it's not an area that I'm very passionate about. You know, but obviously it's part of the paranormal, so I enjoy it. But I do find it fascinating just to look up at the sky, especially if it's a nice, quiet night. You know, and just you can be at one, can't you, with yourself and relax,
Absolutely.
and sometimes then you can see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the odd flashes in the sky. You think, oh, could it be? You know,
Yeah.
is it an unmanned aircraft? You know, is it whatever it is, a UFO or whatever, spacecraft?
Could be quite calming, can't it?
Yes.
Could be quite calming just standing there staring.
I mean, we do that a lot at. We go to a RAF Colby Grange control tower. It's abandoned. It's just a shell. You know, it's on 3 floors. But you stand on top of that roof there, and the feeling you get, if it's a nice quiet night, you can hear the Merlin engines of aircrafts as they're coming into land on that airfield. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
You know, we've seen searchlights in the sky that they've not come from anywhere that we know of. You know, and it is awesome. But UFOs, there has to be something, surely.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It's
just recently it's an uptake in, people having sightings, isn't there? It's become more and more. And like we always say, because you've got phones now, that you're a roaming reporter, aren't you? Because your phone will take a picture, video wherever you are, at whatever time of day, night, early hours. It's always there. And in your opinion, do you think we see more UFOs now because of the phones, or you think that that it's ramping up a bit more?
That's a good question. I mean, are we getting more notice now? I don't know. You know, we want to be interested in this country, all we're interested in doing is killing each other. But but it's, I don't know. It's the same with all the beasts and the beings and the myths, the legends and Bigfoot and things like that. You know, you see all the technology that we've got nowadays, but we still get these little grainy pictures. So it makes you wonder. You know, it's I don't know. That's a hard question to answer, really. It's that one.
It's typical, isn't it?
It is.
We see a lot more live videos now, don't we? Because everybody's out with their cameras taking pictures and all of that type of stuff. So whether it's more highlighted because people are doing that, Ghost Dragon Investigation, I think it's more meditated because of technology. Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we go, and Julia's a great believer in taking photos everywhere she goes, and to capture some great photos. You just got to keep doing it. Alan Ellis says, yes, we are now seeing more sightings to state seen 3 UFOs. See, I think we're more alert, more aware of it, because our cameras can take pictures from anywhere we are. It's like taking voice recordings in a building, isn't it? In a haunted location. You don't always need a voice recorder. Your phone is quite adequate to capture.
Most of our EVPs and our clear EVPs have been caught on just a box on a camera, a box on a phone. It's the EVP recorders. They're all right, but they're very grainy. Whereas a modern phone, isn't. You don't have to enhance it or anything like that. You can hear them as clear as day.
Yeah, I use Philips Voice Tracer. It's the one I used, and I found and I had the Panasonic VP10 before, but the Voice Tracer is much clearer, and we've caught some real outstanding EVPs with it. And some of our investigators have caught really good EVPs on their phone, like you say.
Exactly. Your phone is an all-purpose tool at the end of the day, isn't it? It's they're so clever and so smart. The technology, the cameras are a lot better nowadays. It's
the thing is, it fits in your pocket, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We go around with like 4, 5, 6 boxes full of equipment, whereas your phone can do a lot of it for you. It's just
yeah. You could climb through fences and all sorts with your phone, can't you? You're dragging boxes behind you.
We do have to climb through a few as well, or over something, or under it. It's just.
Ghost Dragon Investigation, but most of our EVPs have been caught on our static camcorders.
Yeah, they.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think. Do you leave a lot of cameras in empty rooms when you're hosting an event, and then go back
do.
over your cameras?
We've only just started getting some camcorders ourselves now, and so we can use them as locked off cameras. We've got a couple of 4K ones, a couple of night vision ones, so we're going to use them a lot more now, because we do find, leave it in a room, with a couple of trigger objects, a REM pod or something, and then just see what we can capture and just leave it alone for an hour or so and see what you get.
Yeah.
Because we know, or we think we know, spirits, they don't like to be caught, so you have to be sneaky with them and and catch them out, and that's one of the best ways to do it.
Yeah. You find sometimes you talking away as a group, and then you hear something, because they always try and not join in, but they talk, so you just can't work out. Did somebody say something then, or they're very clever, aren't they? Like that, where they could just drop the conversation in, and you think, did anybody else hear that? Or Graham Bedford put that EVP I caught at the castle the other day was clear as day and direct to what I was talking about. Graham goes up to a place called Loganshore Castle a lot. He's investigates out there, and some of the EVPs he's got from there are incredible. Like they're actually talking to him, literally.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It just makes your hair stand on end. It's fantastic. We love it, don't we? It's just,
it's that passion, isn't it?
It is. You've got to have that passion. You can't be on the fence or whatever. You either got it or you haven't.
Yeah.
It's,
Do what, Dave?
I totally agree with that. The passion. It's what we do, isn't it? We love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of it is what you put in is what you get out as well.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. You interact more. Hopefully they're going to interact more. We have to enjoy it, because we can be out in all weathers. I mean, last night we went outside; it was freezing, bleeding cold. I was in 10 minutes later, but it's we have to enjoy it. Because why would you go out there in the pouring rain to chase something that most people can't see, but we know it's there? So you've got to have that passion or craziness, maybe. I don't know which one's which, but
I think go hand in hand, don't they?
It does, yes. It has to. You've got to have humour as well.
Oh God.
Yeah. That cuts the boredom so much.
Yeah. You've got to have that, because they approach you more, don't they? When the happier you are, the better the energy. Ghost tracking investigation. If we were asked to go out now, I'd be out the door. Low.
Absolutely.
I think we'd all be out the door like low. We'd be at 6 empty screens, wouldn't it? As we all disappeared.
before the sentence was finished, we'll all be out in the car, packed, ready to go.
It'd be a bit scary if we were all in the same car park, wouldn't it?
All put up at the same location.
Sally Bull, hi Sally, welcome. And even with the power banks, the equipment is still affected. Cameras turning off, etc. Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, when you've got a fully charged equipment, and then you walk into a location and it's flat, you're thinking, well, how can that be? And then you walk back out and it's fully charged again. You're thinking, well, how can this be?
They are terrible for draining equipment.
Yeah, it's good evidence.
Camera, when we done that private investigation at Sarah's house that we done with his camera, just turned off. Never happened before.
Wow.
But that was so strange. That was so strange.
But do you not find that when you sort of turn your camera off or you record, you think, right, end recording, and then the voice comes?
Yeah.
You always miss it, don't you? Always. You're thinking, why did I do that? Why did I turn it off?
Or you stood there setting everything up, and just before you set it up, everything kicks off, and then when you've set it up, it's gone quiet again. You think, for God's sake,
And you hear the footsteps up and down the stairs, don't you? Think, we're going to have a good night here. Yeah. And then you put your equipment and you think, well, come on then, where have you gone? Come on.
To bed.
Yeah. There's like 4 people in one bed, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, they all gone to the same place. How
You know,
funny.
if the people wake up, what would have happened? I don't know. Who'd be more shocked?
Could you imagine the screaming in the room if they'd woken up and seen a laser grid and two people sneaking around the room? How funny.
Yeah, there with the police turning up or something like that, you know, and it's just...
That happened to me once. I did a paranormal investigation in a place called Merris Wood, and we were taking guests around. So I had like these 6 ladies, and we did it's on 3 floors. So I had 3 different types of experiment going on 3 floors. So we're in the middle floor, and it's a square house. So right opposite us, we kept seeing this massive white flash. So I walked off round there, and these ladies were sort of standing in the corner. Walked round, couldn't see anybody there. Everybody was on their different floors. So I came back, and out of the 4 corridors, this was always the coldest corridor. And I'm thinking, wow. So, you know, you call out any spirits here wish to communicate with us. You know, we come with the utmost respect. And there was a big white flash opposite again. I'm thinking it's got to be someone with a camera. So I went the opposite way round to see if they were trying to sort of I couldn't find anybody. So I came back and stood in the corridor, and we were right on the corner. So we're looking at the door to my right. And I felt, you know, when you feel the atmosphere changing, you think something's coming. Something's going to happen. You get that feeling. So I'm looking at the door. There's like a glass pane door, sort of half a door size. And these women sort of were standing there, sort of huddled just on the corner, sort of just a little bit away from me. So I say, okay, Spirit, I know you're here. Do you think you could show yourself? And then a split second later, there was a face pressed against the glass like that. And I looked and thought, oh, who's that? You know, and you sort of look and think, oh, no. And the women didn't see him at this time. Anyway, I said, Spirit, if that's you that I saw in the glass, can you come into the corridor with us? And as I turned, he was standing next to me. And at that split second, these 6 women saw it all at the same time. I was looking at the window, and I could see it here in my eye line as I looked. And then it was a massive scream. 1 lady fainted, went to the floor. 3 run down the other corridor, and 2 run out the fire escape. So all the alarms were going. There was because all the fire alarms had gone off because they'd gone running out the staircase down a fire exit. Of course, everybody's had to get out of the building, haven't they? Because they're all standing in the car park with their cigarettes, like trying to light their cigarettes. It was so funny. Obviously, we had to get the lady that passed out up, and it was just hilarious. Well, it wasn't hilarious at the time, but when you sort of look back on it, it was quite funny. It was like a starburst. It was just people running everywhere. You know, you come to see what it is, and he showed himself, and obviously, after a little bit of time, I sort of Googled who he was, and he was the architect that built the building. And when I spoke to the lady that runs it, because it's an offices now, and she said they often see the man, but he's always walking along the corridor opposite them, never in the same corridor. So, you know, it was a good validation, but it was funny because the fire alarms were going off, and of course the caretaker had to come back to reset the fire alarm. You had to phone the fire brigade to tell them not to turn up, and it was just so funny. It was just hilarious. But it is Sally Balls we got some great footage where noises have been captured, and you can clearly see that they weren't heard at the time by the team. And that often happens, doesn't it? You don't hear them at the time.
Yeah,
we find that Dan Winstanley. We find we have more activity when we are talking between ourselves. Don't know if you guys find that too.
Absolutely,
very much so. Very much like the boys were saying. You know, when their recorder went off, they turned their voice recorder off as when they heard a voice. You know, it always happens like that, doesn't it? Just as you're at the end, or yes, definitely, Dan Winstanley. We found some locations Spirit really became active when we were laughing and talking. I think that's to do with energy, isn't it? They attract to that positive energy. You know, then it's like us, isn't it? We're not going to go to a negative person. We'll always go to the happier person. So Spirit's the same. They'll do the same thing.
And we find... Sorry, go on.
No, go on, mate. Carry on.
No, So we find the same as well. It's obviously we find when it goes a bit quiet and spirits aren't as active or talking to you or whatever it is, we find that you talk amongst yourselves and they don't like to be ignored. So then you're more likely to hear a bang or a knock or so. It's like, I'm here. You know, you can talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, we find that happens quite a lot.
Yeah. I think, like you say, they don't like to be left out because they've made an effort to come, haven't they? And I think, I wonder sometimes they don't go full on banging and crashing in case they scare you off. They think, well, if we subtly knock back or we move something, it's a bit of a more subtle sign that they're there, you know, and they're not. It's nice to see a slammed door, isn't it? And doors going bang.
Isn't it? You know, it.
Yeah.
But look at it from their point of view as well. You know, we're asking them to show themselves or make a noise, everything else. What does most people do when they do that? They run out the room. So that was me being asked to do something. I'd find that very disrespectful or rude or something like that. I'd think, well, stop it, I'm not going to interact with you anymore. And
It takes a lot of energy.
It takes a lot of energy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
It's I've had a few occasions where I've been in the basement with people and they've run off, but I won't go because I find it disrespectful. I've asked Spirit to come in and join us, you know, to come and interact with us. And when they do, why would I run off? Because I wouldn't like it as a human. So why would I like it, you know, as a spirit? You know, you think, well, if they do that, then I won't bother to do anything tonight. Or, you know, I find that very disrespectful, the same as you. So,
it's all about respect, isn't it? But any location you go in, you've got to show it respect, and you know, people your spirit will hide there as well. You know, so.
It is, it's respect for the area you're in, the house you're in, you know, the event you're in, and the spirits within that venue as well, isn't it? It's about having respect for everybody.
To them, it's their former home or their home. It's still their home at the end of the day, you know. So, you know, we're basically asking them to invite us in. You know, we're the guests. So we treat them with respect like we treat our guests that come into the house or whatever. You know, it's... You know, that's how I find it.
So where can people find your events, Alan? Do you want to push your website or whatever you would like to do? Is he gone?
Probably gone.
Oh, there you go. Where can people get in contact with you, Mark?
I thought you were talking to Alan then. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's coming up on the bottom of the screen here. I don't know. How did that come up? Anyway, how can people get in contact with your Darkside Spirit Seekers then?
Michelle's going to put the page links up. You know, there's obviously her page, my page, Darkside Spirit Seekers page, and all our events get put on there. We are in the process of doing a website so we can put it all onto one page because we think a website's more professional. It gets more noticed as well. We don't have a lot of followers on Facebook, you know, so we're trying to branch out to like YouTube, TikTok, all the other streaming platforms, because Facebook I find very unreliable.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get ourselves on all the platforms to be more noticed. And at the minute, it's predominantly Facebook, unfortunately.
Yeah, send it us the links and we'll share it down here so people can.
Means and vice versa. You know, anyone send anything to us, we'll plug anyone. That's fine. Yeah,
and we can push it out down here for you and share it. And the boys are in Somerset, so they're further down the country as well. So you know, we're quite willing to do that. So send us the link, you or Michelle, and we will certainly share it for you.
Yeah, and like I said, vice versa, not a problem.
Do you have any questions for us? We've been asking you all night. Do you have any questions for us?
I've enjoyed it. You know, it's nice to have a laugh and to speak to like-minded people about it. The ones that are not going to like stab you in the back, get jealous, and think, "Oh wow, I want to do that" or something. You know, and it's nice to speak to people that are passionate. You know, truly passionate about what you do, because there isn't a lot out there. A lot of people will look at you and think, "Oh no, why would you want to do that kind of thing?" You're like stigmatized, you know, and it's just, you know, and it is nice. We love it. We love the chat, and it's been a pleasure to come on board with you guys and have a chat. I love it.
Well, thank you for that. It's it's our pleasure to have you. Really, you know, we're like this every Monday night, so you're welcome to comment or come back on again anytime. on Monday nights we have a chat, or if we've done an investigation at the weekend, we talk about the investigation, what we found, how we found it, and so we sort of vary everything. We have different speakers when we can get people to come on, to spare us the time to come on here. But
Brilliant.
is there any more questions, Angela, or
Julie? What about Julie? There's loads of comments, but I haven't been able to put them all up because they've been so quickly. So you'll have to go back and have a look through them all.
Okay, so go back on the catch up. Ghost Dragon investigations, but we're out this weekend and we can't wait for the first one of the year.
Oh, brilliant.
Yep, we had our first one of the year a couple of weeks ago, the Bombay Sapphire, or the Laverstoke Mill, Julia, is it called?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry. Sorry.
Was
it sorry.
Bombay Sapphire or Laverstoke Mill? That was our first one, wasn't it?
Oh,
yes.
That sounds good.
Yes, we were supposed to be doing another one, but that got cancelled. So yeah, we did Bombay Sapphire. So yeah, that was the first one of the year.
How did the one go last Saturday?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, it was. We had a hall. There was about 30 people there, which I think was about right for the size of the hall. And then there was 2 other smaller halls, and there was another little room that people could have gone. And but yeah, it went well. It went really well.
Good evidence.
Yeah, there was some people there that had done ghost hunting before that I'd never met, but and then there's other people there that I'd met before. I think Maz was there, Maz Hill. I've seen her a few times. Yeah, Maz was there with her friend. Stephen Legg, Derek's stepson, who hasn't been since Derek passed away a few years ago. He came with his stepson. But yeah, lots of old faces that I haven't seen for a long time.
Nice.
What's that lady's name? Rachel and what's her name? Sandy. She was there. They turned up. But yeah, lots of people there that I haven't seen for a while. So I think because it was quite local to a lot of people, and we did it from 8 to 11, but by the time we finished ghost hunting, it was about 11:30. And the on-site caretaker, he was really, really sort of enthusiastic and everything. And he stayed all night and joined in with us. And
nice.
He said, oh, if you need any help, I'd like to come and help you and that. And and then another lady said, oh, I'd like to help you as well. And I'm like, oh, you can only have so many people helping you. You really can. It was a really good night. Really good night, to be fair. And I think the hall dated back to 1897. We got a little boy called Norman. We got a lot of names come through. A lot of names. One lady said that we were doing a human pendulum. One lady said that she was there when she was an usher when it was a picture house. And apparently it wasn't a picture house, but it used to show films. So the caretaker was sort of like saying to us, oh, it wasn't a picture house as such, but it did sell tickets, and it's still got like the little ticket booth as you go in. It was just, yeah, I think it was unusual. But yeah, it definitely has some history to it. And people like whispered in their ear, and yeah. There was a lot of newbies. We had 30 people, a lot of newbies, but there's also some people that had done ghost hunting before. But I think if you just had a smaller team of, say, half that, of maybe just core members, that might have been a good idea.
Yeah.
I think probably could have, could maybe do something like that. But yeah, definitely worth a visit.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds a good night.
Yeah, in the short time we had because I said, oh, we've only got like 3 hours, we've really got to sort of like just go for it. And I said, I was explaining to people, I said, when we do events, they're normally like 5 to 6 hours. So if you think I'm rushing it, I said, it's only because I want you to have more time ghost hunting than than listening to me. So
Yeah.
It went, and when people were leaving, they were sort of saying, oh, we really enjoyed that. We don't like to come to the longer ones because they finish at like 1, 2 in the morning, and so I think there's sort of like a bit of an opening to have
Short
events,
ones.
shorter ones,
Mm.
more local, but it's difficult, isn't it? Because you don't really know how many people to have, and it's quite difficult to gauge. But I think 30 was about right, because it had the energy there. So yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Cheryl and Gemma were throwing some balls, glow in the dark balls.
Oh yeah.
And they'd throw one, and then they'd throw another one, and it lined up exactly with the other one that had just been thrown. And then it was like moving around on its own, and was saying, come back, and it was like coming back towards Cheryl. So
oh wow,
that was right at the end. I forgot about that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Luke's REM pod, your REM pod went off, didn't it, Luke?
I think so, yeah. I think it did once, yeah.
But it went off.
Yeah.
Your REM pod seems to be getting more susceptible now, Luke, than it was.
It is, yeah.
It was great in Bombay, wasn't it?
It worked really well. Yeah. Anyway, so no more questions or whatever. So only remains for me to say thank you to Mark and Michelle for coming on tonight. And it's been a great pleasure listening to your stories, and thank you for sparing us your precious time to come on the Monday Night Live. So stay tuned for next week's Monday Night Live. We have another guest speaker coming on next week. So Mark and Michelle, it remains for me to say thank you so much. When we go off the live, Mark, just stay on for a few minutes after. The screen will drop off, but then you'll come back on again. All right?
Nope. Yeah, that's fine, mate.
Just so we can talk to you a bit off air. So it only remains for me to say Paul and Jenny from Host for Go, Angela from South Coast Ghost, Julia from Paranation, Ghost Hunted Events, Abnormal Paranormal, and Luke. We wish you a good night and a safe week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Bye.